good. How are you
All right,
doing?
young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
man.
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
The revelations surrounding Justin Bieber and Diddy's relationship are beyond horrific. Justin Bieber is finally speaking up on what really went down with Diddy, just as people have been encouraging him to do for years. Diddy's obsession with Justin started when he was just 15. And knowing what we know now, it is straight up disturbing. There is a resurfaced video of Diddy asking Justin why they didn't hang out anymore, and OMG, Justin literally looks too scared to even respond. But it gets worse. There's another video from Justin's 21st birthday where Diddy basically is forcing him to drink. The fact that these two still work together, even as recently as 2023, has people scratching their heads. It is super messy, y'all, and we have to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Can someone come to Hollywood and not do drugs
Yeah.
and be successful?
Oh, hell yeah. That's easy.
It's not a requirement.
Bro, the requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
Nigga, you can take the bitch, but he wants you. He ain't worried about that bitch. he is not worried about that bitch at all. Okay, he ain't.
Justin Bieber remains one of the most exploited Hollywood stars, especially at the time he was just getting into the limelight, and we will discuss this in detail a little further down. But for now, let's narrow it down to one of the people who caused Justin immense trauma, Sean Diddy Combs. By now, everyone knows that Diddy has been arrested over unprintable charges that basically revolve around doing stuff to people against their will. In both interesting and sad turn of events, more and more people are coming out with grueling details about their encounters with Diddy, and one such person is Justin Bieber. People magazine wrote, Justin Bieber focused on being a great dad and husband after Sean Diddy Combs' arrest. Justin Bieber is focused on family. Amid his friend and longtime collaborator Sean Diddy Combs' arrest, a source tells people exclusively that the musician, 30, is keeping things centered around his wife, Hailey Bieber, and their baby son, Jack Blues, whose birth was announced last month. He is aware of Diddy's arrest and all of the allegations, the source tells people, referring to the 54-year-old rapper's September 16th arrest following recent S trafficking and S lawsuits. It is not anything that he wants to focus on, though, the source adds of Justin. The source also said that the baby is such a miracle, and the pregnancy was something that they very much wished and prayed for. The day they found out Hailey was pregnant was the best ever for Justin. He was over the moon with excitement, and it was a big celebration for them. Justin's already a great dad. First of all, this revelation feels like a breath of fresh air for Justin, especially because not long ago, a clip resurfaced that is just disturbing on so many levels. It doesn't need to say much, it's crystal clear what the industry did to him. In this clip, Justin was talking about how he would protect Billie Eilish from what the industry has done to him.
I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Now things are really starting to make sense. Justin is one of those celebs who suddenly did a complete 180. He went from this bubbly, optimistic superstar full of life to suddenly looking, well, broken, like something was haunting him. Back then, people just couldn't wrap their heads around it. Like, he was literally living the dream. But now that we know more, we get it. Fans have been nothing but sympathy for him. The fact that Justin is still sane and putting in an effort as a parent, that is a miracle in and of itself. Even his marriage to Haley lasting this long should be in the Guinness World Records. Even though we do not have exact intel on what Diddy did to Justin that had him dodging him and only interacting with him in public strictly for business, rumor has it Diddy was one of the first people to show Justin a wilder side of Hollywood, and not in a good way. The saddest part is that young Justin, at just 14 years old, was invited to Diddy's questionable parties. With the Diddy case unraveling, we now know what used to go on there. So we're talking all-night bashes filled with God knows what, attended by industry veterans who had no business being around someone that young. Diddy even allegedly gave Justin a key to his fancy, tricked-out mansion, telling him to drop by anytime. No, seriously, why was a grown man giving a 14-year-old keys to his place? You tell me. Something about that doesn't sit right.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
All right, moving on to the next part of this wild story. I wish I could tell you that Diddy was the only sketchy person that Justin Bieber ran into on his way to fame, but no. That list is long, and horrible does not even begin to describe what these grown adults did to Justin. Some of it was straight up criminal, and it seriously doesn't make any sense how none of them ever got sued.
So, I'm like 17, so...
Would you rather have to be naked on stage? Answer Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans, I can't...
Imagine there was no laws. Imagine it wasn't like weird like that. Justin Bieber! I will squeeze your face.
No, I will. No.
I mean,
If you had to date one of us, 5.
After watching that, we now have an answer for anyone who questions Justin's mental state, wondering why he's always depressed and sad. Maybe he is depressed and sad. So no one could stand up for Justin or even call out these women. Some of y'all might have forgotten, but most people remember that Justin Bieber had his fair share of meltdowns back in the day, trashing hotel rooms, getting arrested, looking like the typical spoiled pop star. It was so bad that it almost became impossible not to hate him. But if we dig a little deeper, you will see that this boy went through some things that most of us can't even imagine. And we're not talking about normal celebrity struggles. No, the industry pretty much chewed him up and spat him out. He was used and mistreated by grown adults, and looking at these cringe videos gives quite the ick. Let's kick things off with the very much deplorable and unfortunate experience between Bieber and Jenny McCarthy, who goes by the stage name Pink. Believe it or not, the whole thing happened right in front of everyone during the 2012 American Music Awards.
I feel violated right now. Wow.
How have you been enjoying the night so far?
Great. I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt.
I saw that you like totally, like it was like a full-on almost makeout session.
A little cougar scary.
Yeah.
But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and kind of molested him.
Justin was so shocked, and you could see that he wasn't comfortable with that. But the saddest part was what Pink would later say about that experience, stating how proud she was to have had a Bieber experience. And just to show you how twisted it got, Pink even bragged about it on Twitter. Let's just pause for a second and remember that this happened when cameras were rolling. So you can imagine what he would go through behind the scenes. Being so young, Justin had no choice but to let it slide. In fact, this time he was so used to this kind of treatment that he might have thought that this was industry practice. The fact that Pink got away with this is enough to tell you that the industry finds such behavior acceptable. Nobody called her out, nobody protected Justin, and this would later come to crash him. Then there's Katy Perry, and this one's a whole mess. During yet another award show, Katy straight up grabbed him by the neck like it was all cute and said, "Sorry, Selena," as if it was just a playful thing. Not only that, Katy Perry then proceeded to grab Justin's behind. Y'all, Justin was a teenager, still trying to figure things out. And here's a grown woman crossing lines left and right. Imagine being in his shoes, just trying to find your footing in the twisted and dark world of Hollywood, and these adults are out here playing fast and loose with boundaries. Not to make this about gender, but imagine the flip side. If a dude did that to a young lady, the whole world would be in flames, but because it's Katy or Pink or even the men, everyone laughed it off. I know y'all are already super grossed out right now, but the David Letterman incident must also be called out. David Letterman, the old school late night legend, thought it was a good idea to put his hands on Justin during a live interview in 2012. You can literally watch this man grab Justin and make weird comments about his tattoos like he's some out of control kid. Look, no one is saying that Justin was perfect, but he was a kid in an industry filled with adults who clearly didn't respect his space.
An important day for me, so, you know, I got Believe.
Get that off of there.
Hey, this is a brand new.
David later apologized to Justin, but it's just alarming to see how adults were so quick to disrespect Justin Bieber and disregard his personal space. Unfortunately for Justin Bieber, the laundry list of creepy grown men around him was just as long as the women's. Speaking of creeps, let's not forget L.A. Reid's cringeworthy comments about a 14-year-old Justin in his memoir. Reid literally called Justin beautiful like a woman, and once again, no one saw that as a red flag. He then went on to say that Justin's real superpower was his face. This kid was beautiful, like a woman can be beautiful, and men rarely are, and he turned it on as soon as he stepped into the room. He recalls in detail how Bieber had grown his hair down, almost covering his eyes, and says he could see immediately that Justin's hair would be every bit as important as his songs. His voice, his face, his presence. Justin was simply beautiful, he gushes. His superpower was his face. A grown man talking like that should have been enough to send shockwaves through the industry, but no, people just let it slide. Ugh, it is clear that Reid was somewhat attracted to young Bieber, but we don't know how that went down, but everything about this is super odd. Remember, L.A. Reid was the first to ever sign Justin for his first defining record deal, so you can already tell this whole thing reeks of those disturbing power dynamics in Hollywood that everybody whispers about but never confronts. Well, Reid might have just put his thoughts into words, but what James Gordon did to Justin,
I'm excited.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16.
This is already messy, but Gordon would go on and on and on about how Justin smells so good and actually smells him. Justin was super uncomfortable, and even after asking him how old he was, you'd think he would stop, only to say that he didn't recall smelling that good at 16 and later say, wow, look at his eyes. Clearly, the Bieber fever didn't just hit the teenage girls. Even full-on adults caught onto the wave, but unfortunately, they used their influence and strength to toss him around like a ball. And yet Bieber could not even defend himself. And actually, at some point, he actually started behaving just like these adults. Like in his experience with Katy Perry when she touched him the way that he did and became all flirty. Justin told her, we can actually do this for as long as you want. He didn't mean it, but he didn't know better either. It was the adult's responsibility to take charge of the situation. Probably the craziest thing about all of these is that whenever Justin played a song, they would turn it on him and accuse him of being touchy and whatnot. While on a radio show called Mojo in the Morning, the host Shannon Murphy steered the conversation in a completely different direction.
Has your mom given you a sex talk yet? I mean, like, I really don't want to have that conversation with my mother. Yeah. Like I've kind of had it with my father.
You want to hear? Oh, really? See, my parents never gave me this talk.
Okay.
So why don't you give me this talk?
I feel uncomfortable right now.
Oh.
Why do you want to know this from a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird.
But here's where the confusion starts. A little earlier, this happened.
Justin, what are you going to be doing after the show tonight?
I thought I was picking you up.
Like I said, by now, Justin had been to a ton of interviews. Plus, Shannon Murphy, who was about 26 at the time, had already started taking the conversation towards that direction, which pretty much explains why Justin would have responded like that. But then later, here's what Shannon had to say.
That little kid is like a walking set of hormones. He is.
Wow, got a little too touchy-feely with you?
he wasn't just like patting my butt, he was grabbing my butt and he kept saying, is it inappropriate? Is this inappropriate?
Oh my God.
And he would grab it harder and go, is it inappropriate now? Is it inappropriate now? Hi. Oh my gosh, he's kissing me. Here, come sit here. Come sit with me right here. Dude, Justin Bieber just like comes up and you just started making out with me, you know that?
Is that not appropriate?
Regardless, the show host should have brought up that topic on air. So now 15-year-old Justin was being blasted on air for being too touchy, when that's what all along he had been shown. This is in no way condoning certain inappropriate behavior, but you can see how he might have thought that this was okay. He even kept asking if whatever he was doing was inappropriate, because even as a kid, he knew some things were just a bit overboard, only that by now, Jason was already conflicted. By now, you're probably wondering where Justin's management was, or his parents, and why they would let these things happen to him. Now, the crazy part is, Justin's mom was more often than not present during these uncomfortable interviews. Not only that, his 15-year-long manager, Scooter Braun, did not do any better. For so long, he posed as Justin's savior, just because he discovered him and managed to convince everyone within an earshot that Justin would be the next biggest Hollywood act. But in the end, Scooter's true intentions got revealed. Instead of protecting Justin, he became an enabler. While on the one hand, he came off like the big brother figure, the one who saved Justin from obscurity and made him a global star, but Scooter never had Justin's best interests at heart. From all accounts, Scooter was more interested in dollars than Justin's actual well-being. The constant pressure, the never-ending tours, the spotlight, it all piled up until Justin hit a breaking point. Sure, Scooter helped make him rich, but all that money did not give Justin the fulfillment he had hoped for, because his mental health was stuck in shambles. It was after such unpleasant experiences that Justin resorted to substances, and by now, he had as many haters as fans, if not more. Every news piece about Justin was scandal after scandal, which gave those who couldn't stand him even more reason to hate him. Images like this, where Justin seemingly held a blunt, started surfacing online, but instead of people noticing that this was simply a cry for help, they started faulting him for losing his wholesome personality, the one they destroyed when they started exposing him to a situation someone that young had no business being in. The substances aside, Bieber also started throwing tantrums, showing up late even for shows, feeling entitled because fame had gotten a better part of him, and would lock himself in and play video games even when he needed to go to work.
What'd you say? You heard what I said, man. What'd you say? You heard what I said, mate. Lose your belt. Who you are. Lose your belt. Fuck who you are. Lose your belt. I'm back, you prick. I'm back, you prick. Back. All right? That's all. Little.
He just kept getting worse and worse, like the time Justin peed on a cleaning bucket while partying. Justin's own people used him, and to this date, they are responsible for every bit of trauma he's dealing with.
This is the creepiest music video I've ever seen. In January of 2020, Justin Bieber released the music video for his hit song, Yummy. This video initially came across as being really happy and innocent, until speculation arose that Justin Bieber was hinting at something so much darker. Many people started to believe that Justin Bieber was using this music video as a way of expressing how child entertainers are often taken advantage of. Before this music video dropped, Justin Bieber posted a ton of pictures on Instagram of babies, using the hashtag Yummy, which in itself is a really strange way to promote a new song. People initially believed that this was a way of Justin Bieber hinting that him and his wife were going to have a child, but then the music video dropped. This is crazy. The music video starts off with Justin Bieber walking through a dark, eerie kitchen into a room full of older, rich-looking people. However, in the corner of the room you see a stage, where young children are performing and playing instruments. But when you look closely, you start to notice that these children look sad, and their facial expressions are incredibly blank. The video then goes on to show the older people eating a range of disgusting looking food, including a cake with a fish on it, and jelly surrounded by peas. The people eating the food are shown to have no manners, eating with their mouths full, and clearly not having any respect. They're often shown fighting for the food and literally shoving it down their mouth. Now, so far it just looks like a strange music video, but this is where it gets really dark. The end of the video flashes to a scene where Justin Bieber is sat on a table by himself, and all of the old people seem to have gone. In the background, you can hear the sound of a microphone that has just been unplugged. You know that high-pitched sound? It sounds like a microphone that has been dragged from a speaker. This had people questioning what happened to the children who were using the mic at the start of the video. There's no sign of them. As if this couldn't get any creepier. Right at the end of the video, the camera pans to a plate that has an image of Justin Bieber as a child with the word yummy written under it.
All of this, Diddy's parties, Pink's public drags, Katy's inappropriate touching, Letterman's bullying, Scooter's relentless hustle, and LA Reid's creepy comments. It's no wonder Justin went through what he did. He was surrounded by adults who saw him as a product, not a person. And while they were making money and enjoying the show, Justin was suffering behind the scenes. The fact that he survived this long in the industry is a testament to his strength, because any other person would have been crushed. Justin has been through hell and back, y'all. People are honestly so happy that he has his son, little Jack Bieber, because now it looks like that baby has given him a reason to be the best version of himself. He is inspired by his son, and maybe that's all he needed. A little spark to keep going. You see, loves, when you've been through as much as Justin has, it feels like there's nowhere left to run. Trauma is a horrible thing, especially when it happens to you and when you're so young. It doesn't just go away, it grows with you. And even when you try to hide from it, it's still there, waiting for you to deal with it. No wonder an alarming number of Hollywood stars turn to alcohol, sometimes substances, all just trying to run from the pain that they can't stand. We can only hope that Justin finds peace. I'd love to hear your opinions on this sad story, loves. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.